Welcome to, what is this, the Penny Stupid podcast. Steve just threw at me, I'm doing the intro, and even though we've done it, I don't know, 50, 100 times, I have no idea what he says. This is Damon Day. That is Steve Rode, formerly the Get Out of Debt guy. He informed me yesterday he's retiring and throwing all of his bullshit onto me. So I guess I'm going to be the new Get Out of Debt guy.
Yep.
But Steve, in his retirement, is still going to be here all the time, 24/7.
Absolutely.
Providing all of his inconvenient facts. So this is like our second podcast of the day. We're not going to release it the same day, but we just did a podcast, and I talked for 35 minutes, and Steve stopped the podcast, and we were done, and informed me that we did not announce the big announcement, which was the main reason for doing the podcast in the first place. So Steve has some news, and I will let him share.
Oh, okay. Well, in this side hustle test that we did, you did the driving apps, and I did Amazon FBA. Actually, well, I did one roadie gig, okay, but it's been all FBA since then. And I am proud to say that at the end of my first year, this is my 1-year anniversary, I did $500,000 in sales on Amazon. So it can't be done.
But you buried the lead, bro.
What?
This is why I tell the stories.
You tell it.
Like, you're good for your facts, but you're not good for the stories,
That's fine. You tell it.
All right. Here's what he should have said. So a year ago, and honestly, we can't find the video. So here's, if you hear this, go find this video for us. It'll push our views up on other videos. Somewhere about a year ago, and we're thinking it's like last January. I think it was sometime in January. We did a podcast on FBA. Steve was just kind of getting rolling. He had like, what would you make your first month? Like $25. I think like his third month, he made like $1,100. And that's when we both started going, there might be something to this. Because the first couple of months, I was just like, I got the good gig, dude. I went out and drove Lyft, made over $5,000 that first month. And Steve's like, well, I made 25 on Amazon, but Steve's like the little engine that could, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, but I'm learning it.
I told you, I'll figure it out. Just a process.
Yeah, there's something to it. It's like he's like the tortoise in the hare. He's the tortoise, like slow and steady wins the race.
I'm the tortoise with no hair.
Tortoise with no hair. Yeah. So anyway, we were probably in that third or fourth month where Steve was really starting to kind of get things figured out and going through the motions and seeing the hockey stick kind of his like, hey, this is really starting to grow, and I'm priming the pump here. I'm getting a lot of inventory in there.
Yep.
And on one of those podcasts that we did, I said, Steve, realistically, how much money do you think you can make in the first year? Like, what do you think you can get your sales to?
Yeah.
And he just throws out probably $500,000. And if you could find that episode, like, I was like, what? 500 grand? Like, all right, this guy is like, he's getting a little too big for his britches here. He just pulled down $1,100. He's like, I could do $500,000, So that's what made this so significant, is that you just got your report from Amazon like a week ago, right? And honestly, I'm pretty sure it hasn't even been a full year yet.
Well, that's because a full 365 days.
No. I mean, from the time you said you could.
Oh, no, it has not. It has not.
I don't think it's even been a full year and you hit that mark, but you just got that the other day, a little over $500,000 in sales.
Yep. And
I just was like, you said that when you were like, you had, because this is sales on Amazon. This is not profit. This is sales. But, you're well into your six figures on the profit. And again, this is something where it all started from, I walked into a Walmart and there was a whole bunch of clearance, and I was like, I wonder if we could sell this shit. and that's kind of the catalyst that started this channel. And then Steve started tinkering with it. Yeah. And it's like, this Walmart stuff sucks, but what about Amazon? And that's how he kind of got onto Amazon and started. And a year later, $500,000 in sales on a side hustle idea. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I think that this time next year, it'll be $750,000.
So here's the interesting thing, because he's, if you think about it, when he said the $500,000, he was at, like maybe $3,000-$4,000 in sales that month.
Oh yeah,
profited $1,100.
Yeah, I started from zero.
Yeah, and it took a while to ramp up, but now he's, already at this level of, what was like your sales in your last month?
The last 30 days were $70,000.
Okay. 70,000 he's starting from. So if he just maintains where he's at right now and doesn't grow it at all, it'll be over $800,000 a year from now if he just maintains where he's at. So now obviously there's going to be some probably bumps in the road and different products he's going to be choosing and stuff like that and trial and error. But he's at $70,000 in sales a year later. And again, this is coming in. And Steve, how many courses did you buy?
Oh,
on
none,
Amazon FBA?
none. So that's it. I think that was the key to success for me. Was I didn't purchase any course. I didn't sign up for anything. I wanted to figure it out myself from Amazon, reading all their pages, all the free information, and learning the bad, tough mistakes in the very beginning, doing stupid things. I wanted to learn it, and it was step by step by step. I did it. I'm not sure that everybody could do it because I've tried to get other friends involved, and besides you, Damon, they've all quit.
I was just going to say, but Steve's a freak. Now, a freak in a good way, but he's one of the I'm doing pretty well, not as well as Steve's doing, mainly because I haven't invested the time that Steve has, but he's already given me the blueprint, the roadmap. Yeah. Like, here's what you need to, here's the steps that I did, here's all the things, here's this tool and this tool and this tool. And I can tell you 100%, if I didn't have Steve ahead of me, and my attention span is like, okay, squirrel, what's the next thing? I can go out here and I can make $5,000. That's fun. I'm having a good time. I'm in my car. I'm getting out of the house. You know, FBA is just more in the office behind the computer. That's all. It's just monotony to me.
Yeah.
But I can tell you 100%, I would not be doing it right now because those first couple of months are the hardest, right? You're trying to figure it out. You don't know what you're doing. You have a couple of setbacks. Amazon dings you for something that you deem is not even your fault.
Oh, yeah, it's
and now
brutal.
Amazon's evil and this, that, and the other thing, or this happens, or you get some returns. I can tell you 100% that there's no way I would still be doing it if I didn't have Steve going, well, I went through that as well. Mm-hmm. Here's what I found, and here's how do you overcome that, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And oh, by the way, last month I made $30,000, and I go, what? $30,000? Okay, this is not so bad. This is not such a big problem, right? But I had to see it's possible. It wasn't some guy rolling into Marshall's on a skateboard about how easy this business is. It was like somebody that I knew, but Steve's very methodical. He spent hours and hours and hours and hours. Every time I call you now, Steve, I'm like, hey, Steve, what are you doing?
Sourcing.
What are you doing, Steve? Sourcing. And sourcing is finding products out on the internet, looking at different manufacturers, trying to find products, and then figure out if those products, if you can get them in a way that would be profitable, that you can then flip on Amazon.
Yeah. And
it's tedious as all fuck. So boring. So boring. I need to outsource my sourcing. Yeah. That's what I need to do. Can I outsource my source?
Well, yeah, technically you could, but not to me.
Yeah. But then you'd be losing money probably because who's going to care more about your profit than you?
Oh, yeah.
So, but it can be done. But you can also lose your ass. So
absolutely. Absolutely. So in the beginning with Amazon, I thought they were just evil. They made everything hard. I didn't understand them at all. And now a year later, I think that Amazon FBA is a tremendous opportunity for people. They're giving you an introduction into the world's largest marketplace. And if you're finding products that people want and you're buying them at a good price and you're pricing them fairly, you will sell them. When I started out, I was excited if I made a sale a day. And now I'm making a sale about every 5 minutes. So once
it's crazy.
Well, it is nuts. I cannot believe it. Now I'm buying products from around the world and having them come to here to the United States on ships, and I would never have predicted that. But I am looking forward to next year and seeing where we are.
Well, you had a couple. Didn't you figure out something where there were some products where you bought them overseas?
Yeah.
You had them shipped here, mm-hmm. and then you sent them off to Amazon to sell overseas.
That's right.
And some of them to the same countries that you bought. But you had stuff shipped here, repackaged, and sent back, and still you're making a profit. It's just like, what? Like, what? It just seems so like, Wouldn't it be better to just leave it there and be like, here it is, it's for sale, it's already here.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Well,
but it's just part of the process. You got to like, okay, but who would have thought, yeah, I can make a profit on something I'm going to take from this country, put it in a different box, and then send it back to that country to sell.
Yeah.
and make a profit.
And we're just talking about Amazon, but one of the things that I've done in the past year is now when I find a product, not only do I sell it on Amazon, but I also sell it on eBay and Walmart. So I have figured out how I can just list it once and it gets listed for sale on 3 different marketplaces. Hey, I love doing something once and having it pay off 3 times.
Yeah. And Steve's all about efficiency. So if you look in his background, here's okay, we're talking about being committed. What Steve's sitting in is his former 3rd car garage.
Yes.
This is his garage. He had completely redone. He had We Got Junk guy, or one of those kind of guys, come one day, and he just shoved everything that was in the garage out. The guy put it in his truck and took it away, cleared it out, had a construction guy come take the door out, put those double doors. He's got one of those fancy, what did the FedEx driver call it? Some bougie shit?
That's a parcel drop box.
Yeah. So people can come and they drop the part like at mailboxes, etc. That kind of shit. And this is his garage, and he's got all these desks in there now with all these different screens. And he set that whole office up so he could process items that he was, buying, or sorting, processing, and then sending into Amazon. He quickly got to the point after he finished this awesome, office/mail room. He got to the point where he was buying so much stuff that his wife was like, I ain't boxing him anymore. So he's like, well, I'm probably gonna have to outsource this or get a divorce, one or the other. So he wisely chose to outsource.
Yep.
And now he talks about things like, getting things sold on Walmart and eBay and all this stuff. But most of this stuff now, Steve, you don't even touch it anymore.
Oh, no. So when I get involved in a new product, let's see if I can reach this. There we go. I'll have them come here instead of the warehouse so I can figure it out. So this is Funko.
Star Trek Pop Funko.
Yeah, I mean, toys, I don't understand at all. So something small like this, I'll have them come to me so I can try to figure them out. But all the other stuff goes to the warehouse, and they process it. It's a prep center. Damon and I use the same prep center. And, I mean, the other day, they received 3,300 pounds of stuff for me at the prep center, and they're just working on it and sending it to Amazon.
Yeah. And so it's like, all he does now is find stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, for me, that's like Steve, I'll call Steve. Sometimes I dread calling him in the morning because we usually, talk throughout the day. And I know he's going to ask me if I place some more orders.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to be like, well, I looked at some stuff. Did you place an order? Well, I had other stuff I was doing. So he's like, oh, well, I placed $2,000 worth of orders last night. What are you doing? I'm like, he's killing me. He's also making $500,000 in sales, and I'm not.
Right.
But if you have that kind of personality that doesn't mind just tedious, monotonous, pouring through products, looking at web, it makes my eyes bleed, but very profitable.
Well, and the secret, too, is that there are tools out there that you can start with and use and to help screen products. And along this way, I had some custom software written for me that helps screen things the way that I want. So, you just keep perfecting it and keep doing better and just keep growing. That
was my wife, by the way, popping her head in going, are you on the podcast? And I was like,
yes.
And she's like, fade out. I need to get a red light or something out there.
Yep. All right. Well,
but that's the update with Amazon. Steve is killing it, but it's absolutely an opportunity that you should look into. But Steve, also too, you got to have money, right? That's the big difference between the stuff that I've been trying for this channel and the stuff that Steve's doing. He's doing more of biz op type things where you need to have money, invest in it, and get things started. You got to buy product. You got to buy tools, right, Steve? I mean, you're spending, at this point, the stage that Steve is at, what are you spending at least, $2,000 a month on various tools?
Yeah,
or
probably
close to that?
Yeah, I'd say it's $1,000 a month on software alone.
Okay. And you can't start out there, right? You have to grow into that. You can't, unless you have a whole bunch of money, But that's the hard part about what Steve's doing, is really getting it started and getting the ball rolling and having enough money to invest in the inventory and invest in the tools to create those efficiencies that Steve has. Because without those tools, it's not impossible to find products.
It's just hard.
It's a lot harder. It takes a lot more time. And the easier it is to find a product,
Yeah.
the easier it is for
People to jump in there and ruin it for you.
every other motherfucker doing this to get it. So that's what we found in the beginning. It's always a great product. You jump on it, we buy a whole bunch of it, and then all of a sudden the price would go
Yep.
because everybody else found the product, and now everybody's competing and lowering and driving the price down. And then you get these guys that just infuriate you. They're like, how the hell are they even making any money at that price? You idiot. Raise your price.
Yeah, but one of the things that we've both learned through this year is if you find a good product like that, buy it and then sit on it. Because all the idiots will blow it out for lower and lower prices, and then once they sell out and it's not available anymore, then go list yours, and you can maximize your profits.
So you actually have two windows. If you can get in on it fast enough, you sell, and then once you see all the other sellers coming onto it and lowering the price, then you just keep your price. But again, it's a lot easier if you have a tool. Now my dog's barking.
Yeah,
This is awesome. Somebody's at the door probably. My dog's going crazy. So anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but that's why you need to have those tools. So if you don't sell it out, don't get into a bidding war with all these people. Just pull back, let them sell out. If you got to park it for 6 months over at Amazon, you park it for 6 months. Eventually, the price will get back. If you bought a good product,
right,
where historically it's sold for a good price, don't make the mistake of buying a product that happens to be hot right now, but then you look at the past and it's never sold anywhere near that price. That's a product you're going to get stuck in.
Oh, I ignore a lot of those that say that, the profit is going to be tremendous, and then you go look at the history, and it's only been tremendous the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and keep in mind, most of the time, you're not going to have your products in right away.
No.
So you're looking at right now, it's awesome. Okay, well, where are you going to source it from? Where's it going to come from? Is it coming from overseas? Is it coming from the United States? How long is it going to take for you to get? How long is it going to take for you to process it? How long is it going to take once you send it into Amazon?
Oh, yeah.
How long is it going to take before it becomes available for sale? You could easily be looking at 1 to 2 months for a lot of these products, at least a month for almost any product.
Well,
and probably more like 2 months. So it's going to be, what's it going to sell for 2 months from now? That's the trick.
We will see what Captain Kirk sells for. He's going in tomorrow.
Should we do an update podcast on where is Captain Kirk?
Well, I know exactly what's going to happen with it. Okay, so everybody else got their initial release of this today as well. So the price is going to get driven down, and I'm going to have to send it in and sit on a high price and just wait for those idiots to sell out.
Well, there you go. Wait for the idiots. Tip of the day.
All right, Damon. Well, thank you so much.
From the mouth of babes.
See ya.
Peace.